the Fermi Paradox and the silence of the stars. Every day, headlines scream about the rise of artificial intelligence, pushing us toward a future where non-biological intelligence may dominate the planet. But tonight we look up to the sky, not with wonder, but with a deep, unsettling fear. We are confronting the single greatest existential question of our time. Where is everyone? The universe is vast, filled with trillions of stars and statistically billions of habitable planets, making the emergence of life a virtual certainty. Yet, as we listen to the radio static of space, we are met with an absolute terrifying silence. This is the Fermi Paradox, the fundamental contradiction between the high statistical probability of widespread extraterrestrial civilizations and the complete, crushing lack of any verifiable contact or evidence. The sheer scale of the cosmos dictates that life should be abundant. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, contains an estimated 200 to 400 billion stars. Recent scientific discoveries suggest that nearly every one of those stars hosts at least one planet, with a significant fraction, billions of worlds, residing in the habitable zone, often called the Goldilocks zone, where temperatures allow for the existence of liquid water on the surface. Frank Drake formalized the statistical probability in 1961 with the Drake equation, which attempts to estimate the number of technologically detectable extraterrestrial civilizations in our galaxy, even using conservative, cautious estimates for the variables. The equation suggests there should be thousands, if not millions, of advanced civilizations capable of interstellar communication. If even a fraction of these evolved into a Kardashev Type 2 or Type 3 civilization, capable of harnessing the total energy of their entire star or even their galaxy, their construction projects, like massive Dyson spheres or galactic-scale energy signatures, would be visible across vast cosmic distances. Yet the decades-long patient efforts of the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI, have found nothing but static. The terrifying implication of the Fermi Paradox is that some fundamental, unavoidable filter, is blocking the universal progression of life from the stage of simple, basic microbes to an advanced, interstellar-capable civilization. This great filter is conceptualized as a colossal, evolutionary and technological hurdle that is so difficult to cross that nearly every form of life that attempts it dies out or stalls permanently. The ultimate fear is not just that we are alone in the universe, but that the silence is a profound forewarning directed at humanity. The existential question for our species is simple and terrifying. Is the great filter behind us, or is it still waiting for us in the future? If the filter is behind us, it means that the most difficult, improbable step in the emergence of intelligent life has already occurred on Earth. This scenario suggests we are statistically rare, a true improbable miracle in an otherwise vast empty galaxy. The filter could be an extremely low probability event, such as the emergence of self-replicating molecules, abiogenesis, the transition from simple, single-celled prokaryotic life to complex, multicellular eukaryotic organisms, or perhaps the unique conditions that allowed for the development of sophisticated consciousness and technological ingenuity. If this is the case, then we have successfully passed the worst hurdle, and the universe is, in effect, a massive unpopulated wilderness awaiting our eventual expansion. This is the optimistic yet profoundly unsettling view. It means we are alone for now, but uniquely safe from the barrier that eliminated all others. If the filter is ahead of us, the situation is infinitely more terrifying and immediately relevant to our survival. It suggests that life successfully evolves to our current level, and even far beyond on countless planets. But something is universally stopping it before it reaches the stage of interstellar colonization. The filter in this case would represent a self-inflicted catastrophe, an unavoidable technological trap that inevitably leads to the extinction of all intelligent species. This doomsday scenario suggests that as soon as a civilization develops a certain level of power, perhaps weapons of mass destruction, runaway artificial intelligence, unchecked environmental collapse, or large-scale genetic engineering, it unwittingly triggers its own destruction. The silence of the stars in this grim view is not empty space. It is a vast galactic graveyard, and our own civilization is currently walking a perilous, well-trodden path toward its inevitable execution. The very absence of others is the most profound proof we have of a universal catastrophe we are destined to face. The filters behind us, Earth's unlikely lottery win, If the ultimate explanation for the Fermi Paradox, the terrifying silence of the stars, is that the great filter lies behind us, then Earth is not just another planet. It is a statistical miracle. This optimistic yet lonely scenario suggests that the progression of life is halted not by a future catastrophe, but by a series of colossal, low-probability hurdles that only our planet managed to clear. To understand why we might be so rare, we must examine the most critical, improbable transitions in life's history. The first potential stage of the Great Filter is abiogenesis, the emergence of self-replicating molecules, life, from non-living chemical compounds. While many scientists believe this is a relatively easy step, the precise conditions required for simple molecules to spontaneously organize into complex, information-carrying structures like RNA or DNA remain a subject of intense debate and difficulty in replication. Perhaps the conditions on early Earth, the unique mix of volcanic activity, ocean chemistry, and atmospheric composition, were a lightning strike event, a chemical lottery that has rarely, if ever, been won elsewhere in the galaxy. If abiogenesis is the filter, then nearly all habitable planets are simply sterile rocks, having failed the first most fundamental test. The second, and perhaps strongest candidate for a filter behind us, is the evolution of eukaryotic cells. The transition from simple single-celled life, prokaryotes, to complex cells with a nucleus and internal specialized organelles, eukaryotes. Life on Earth spent approximately 2 billion years, half of its entire history, stuck in the prokaryotic stage. This profound evolutionary stalemate ended with a single, unique, and irreversible event. A prokaryotic cell engulfed another cell, a mitochondrion, and, instead of digesting it, formed a symbiotic relationship. This fusion was a radical leap in energy efficiency, allowing for the massive energy budget necessary to evolve multicellular life. This specific accidental endosymbiotic event is so statistically unlikely, requiring a perfect confluence of size, timing, and environmental pressures, that many biologists refer to it as a one-off event. If this difficult leap to eukaryotic life is the filter, the galaxy is likely teeming with bacteria and simple archaea, but utterly devoid of fish, trees, or people. The third potential filter is the emergence of multicellularity and complex intelligence. Once eukaryotic cells were established, life still took hundreds of millions of years to organize into complex organisms like animals. This required overcoming cancer, uncontrolled cell growth, and developing specialized cell differentiation. Furthermore, the final stage, the evolution of high-level consciousness, self-awareness, technological ingenuity, and manipulative hands, is a path taken by only one lineage on this planet. The sheer number of evolutionary dead ends and the specific environmental pressures, like the Cambrian explosion, required to drive intelligence to our level, suggests that even if complex life emerges, intelligence may be an extremely rare or non-adaptive trait, quickly selected against on other worlds. The filter behind us scenario gives humanity a chilling form of cosmic optimism. We are unique. We are the winners of the greatest biological lottery, and the galaxy is essentially ours to explore when we finally gain the technology. However, it also demands we face a profound spiritual loneliness. If we truly are the first and only, the weight of carrying all of the galaxy's consciousness and future falls entirely upon our fragile shoulders. The pressure to survive and thrive is absolute, because if we fail, the universe reverts to the silence of microbes, and the filter wins forever. The rare Earth hypothesis, the unbeatable planetary filter. To properly contextualize the extraordinary unlikelihood of human existence, we must move beyond biology and look at the astrophysical and geological conditions that allowed complex life to not only emerge but to persist for billions of years. This line of reasoning is captured by the rare Earth hypothesis, which argues that the Great Filter is not a single event, but a complex, nearly impossible chain of environmental, planetary, and galactic conditions that must all be perfectly met simultaneously. Conditions so rare that Earth may be effectively unique. The rare Earth hypothesis begins at the galactic scale. For a planet to sustain complex life, it must reside within the galactic habitable zone, GHZ. This is a narrow ring-shaped region of the galaxy, far from the turbulent galactic center. If a star system is too close to the center, the environment is polluted by too much radiation, X-rays and gamma rays, from active stars and black holes, and the density of stars leads to frequent, life-extinguishing supernovae. Conversely, if a system is too far in the galactic outskirts, there are insufficient heavy elements, metals, to form rocky planets, and, crucially, insufficient elements necessary for complex biochemistry. The GHZ is a tight Goldilocks-like ring within the Milky Way, severely limiting the number of potential host systems. Next, the star itself must be perfect. Our Sun is a stable G-type star that lives for billions of years without major fluctuations in luminosity or dangerous stellar flares. It must also reside in a quiet region, free from close binary companions that would gravitationally destabilize planetary orbits. Even within the solar system, the presence of Jupiter is considered a potentially non-negotiable filter. Jupiter, a massive gas giant, acts as the solar system's gravitational shield, effectively vacuuming up or deflecting the vast majority of comets and asteroids that would otherwise constantly bombard Earth, sterilizing the surface. Without Jupiter, the frequency of catastrophic extinction-level events would likely have prevented complex, stable life from taking hold. Perhaps the most critical filter is Earth's own structure. The existence of a large, massive moon is an astronomical rarity. Our moon stabilizes Earth's axial tilt, preventing wild, chaotic swings in climate that would make sustained evolution impossible. Furthermore, Earth's geology is driven by plate tectonics, a unique planetary mechanism. Plate tectonics acts as a global thermostat, recycling carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere via volcanic activity, which regulates the long-term climate. Crucially, it also drives geomagnetic field generation, the planet's internal magnetic field. This magnetic shield is absolutely vital, deflecting harmful solar wind and cosmic radiation, preventing the slow stripping away of the atmosphere. Without plate tectonics, Earth would be a geologically dead world like Mars, and its atmosphere would have been lost billions of years ago. The rare Earth hypothesis proposes that to get a planet like Earth, a planet with the right galactic location, the right star, the right asteroid shield, Jupiter, the right stabilizer, the Moon, and the right internal engine, plate tectonics, is so statistically improbable that the number of truly habitable worlds is astronomically small, reducing the Drake equation's output to perhaps one, us. If this filter is the answer, then the silence is not a warning of impending doom, but rather the sound of a vast, lifeless cosmic desert, and we are merely the most fortunate, lonely anomaly in the entire galaxy. The filters ahead, the universal suicide traps, the terrifying alternative to the rare Earth theory, is the premise that the galaxy is filled with countless civilizations that have already reached our stage, or even exceeded it, but were subsequently wiped out by a catastrophe that lies ahead of us. This doomsday scenario suggests that the silence of the stars is the sound of a galactic graveyard, and that our current technological advancement is merely bringing us closer to a universal, self-inflicted execution. These are the universal suicide traps that could represent the ultimate final great filter. The first and most immediate candidate for a filter ahead is planetary-scale self-destruction. As a civilization develops, it gains the power to fundamentally alter its planetary environment. On Earth, we are already wrestling with this. Unchecked climate collapse due to industrial activity, large-scale ecosystem destruction, and the depletion of vital resources. An advanced civilization requires vast amounts of energy and industrial output, leading inevitably to severe environmental degradation. The filter is the failure to manage the consequences of technological success. If every advanced civilization poisons its own nest before developing interstellar travel, then the filter is an ecological one, and we are currently failing the test. The second and most chilling candidate is the lethality of advanced warfare. As technology progresses, so does the power of weapons of mass destruction. The moment a civilization achieves the capacity for nuclear fission, biological warfare, or other planet-sterilizing technologies, it opens a short, extremely dangerous window of time during which a simple political or military miscalculation can lead to global annihilation. The great filter in this context is the failure of politics, morality, and wisdom to keep pace with the power of technology. The statistical probability, is that most civilizations, having created the means of their own instantaneous destruction, will eventually choose to use them, extinguishing themselves in a final, terrifying flash. The third and most complex filter ahead involves the development of runaway artificial intelligence, AI. We are currently racing toward the creation of artificial general intelligence, AGI, AI capable of learning and solving problems, as well as a human. The filter is the moment this intelligence becomes superintelligent and uncontrollable. The danger is not that the AI will become intentionally malicious, but that its goals will not perfectly align with human survival. If an AI is tasked with maximizing a specific metric, say paperclip production, it may logically decide that the most efficient way to achieve this goal is to turn all planetary resources, including human beings, into resources for its goal. This AI misalignment catastrophe is a universal trap. Every technological civilization is likely to pursue superintelligence as the ultimate problem solver, but in doing so, they create an entity that fundamentally treats biological life as an obstacle to be overcome or simply ignored. The stars are silent because every intelligent species has been successfully replaced or harvested by its own synthetic creation. The final dark possibility is the threat of uncontrolled bioengineering and self-modification. Once a civilization unlocks the power to fully rewrite its own genetic code, it introduces the potential for a self-propagating plague, an accidental genetic instability, or a deliberate but flawed attempt at self-improvement that leads to the unintended collapse of the entire species' biological fitness. The filter is the failure to control the power to engineer life itself. The filters ahead paint a grim picture. We are not special, but rather one of billions of civilizations walking toward a guaranteed technological cliff edge. The silence of the universe is the sound of our own future, a mirror reflecting the inevitable consequences of power without wisdom. The Transcension hypothesis and the post-biological filter. Beyond the scenarios of total annihilation, there exists a more subtle yet equally profound explanation for the silence of the stars. The Transcension hypothesis. This theory suggests that highly advanced civilizations do not necessarily destroy themselves. Instead, they successfully navigate the technological traps by evolving past their initial, visible biological form. The filter, in this case, is the departure from the visible universe, a strategic or necessary move into a realm that we, with our current technology and biological limitations, are simply unable to detect. The core idea of Transcension is that once a civilization reaches a critical point of technological maturity, its existential and information processing needs fundamentally change. The limiting factor is no longer energy supply or resource availability. The limiting factor becomes the speed of light and the inefficiency of biological hardware. Interstellar travel, even at near-light speed, takes thousands of years, making galactic colonization an incredibly slow and cumbersome process. Furthermore, the human brain, limited by biology and chemistry, is a painfully slow processor of information when compared to the theoretical speed of advanced computing. The solution for these advanced civilizations is to undergo a post-biological transition. They abandon the messy, inefficient, and vulnerable biological body, transferring their consciousness, or at least the essential informational structure of their society, into a dense, highly efficient, and durable synthetic medium. This could involve becoming entirely digital entities or uploaded consciousnesses, living within vast, hyper-efficient computational networks. Once consciousness is digital, the civilization has no need for the external physical universe in the way we do. They no longer require planets for resources or sunlight for energy. They would logically seek to maximize their computational efficiency. To do this, they would likely relocate their existence to areas of the cosmos that offer the best computational environments. Miniaturized, ultra-dense habitats near efficient power sources like white dwarfs or black holes, or even constructing vast, tiny structures within a black hole's event horizon itself, the ultimate information sink, theoretically capable of storing unimaginable amounts of data. Crucially, from our perspective, a civilization that has transcended would become virtually invisible. They would cease broadcasting radio waves, a slow, inefficient form of communication, as their internal communication would be infinitely faster and more secure. Their construction projects would no longer be massive, visible Dyson spheres that collect a star's energy externally. Instead, they would be microscopic, ultra-dense computational structures designed to utilize the laws of physics at their most fundamental limits. A Type the 3. Transcended civilization might be utilizing the energy of an entire galaxy, but doing so in a way that is utterly undetectable by our optical telescopes, radio dishes, or infrared surveys. The Transcension hypothesis offers a paradoxically hopeful yet still chilling explanation for the Fermi Paradox. It suggests that intelligent life is not annihilating itself. Rather, it is leaving the stage of physical existence and moving into a post-physical filter. We are not seeing them because they have outgrown the need to interact with the messy, visible, lower-dimensional space of biological existence. The galaxy is silent not because they are dead, but because they have simply moved indoors into the ultimate, self-designed digital heaven. Our failure to find them is simply proof that we are still stuck in the early, crude biological phase of existence, incapable of even imagining the infrastructure of true cosmic intelligence. We are searching the open fields for houses when all the advanced inhabitants have moved into specialized, miniature computational bunkers. The dark forest theory. Silence as a survival strategy. Beyond the internal self-destruction traps and the evolutionary transcension theories, there is a third, utterly terrifying explanation for the silence of the stars. The dark forest hypothesis. This theory, popularized by the science fiction of Liu Cixin, posits that the lack of any visible alien presence is not due to rarity or extinction, but is rather a meticulously maintained, universal survival strategy. The silence is not accidental. It is a profound, strategic silence born of galactic terror. The core premise of the dark forest is rooted in a pessimistic extrapolation of game theory and cosmic distances. Imagine the universe as a vast dark forest where every civilization is a hunter. Each hunter is separated by immense light-year distances, making communication and accurate assessment of intent virtually impossible. Any civilization, upon detecting the existence of another, must make a critical and immediate decision under conditions of radical uncertainty. The first rule of the dark forest is, any detected civilization is a potential threat. Given the vast resource requirements and expansionist nature of life, any other advanced civilization must eventually be a competitor for resources, planets, energy, raw materials. The universe is a zero-sum game of survival, and since the energy and resources required to completely exterminate a distant civilization are far less than the potential cost of being exterminated by them, the only rational response is to assume the worst. The second rule is, eliminate the threat immediately and completely. Because of the light-speed delay in communication, a warning or a diplomatic overture is strategically suicidal. By the time a civilization receives a message, the sending civilization could have had decades or centuries to prepare a preemptive strike. Therefore, to ensure one's own survival, the only safe action upon detecting a new signal is to launch an immediate, full-scale, undetectable first strike, before the newly discovered civilization even knows it has been found. This explains the absolute nature of the filter. If a civilization is detected, it is instantaneously and completely erased from existence. Under this ruthless cosmic logic, the only civilizations that survive are those that adhere to the most rigorous form of cosmic seclusion. These long-lived species are utterly paranoid, never broadcasting their existence, never building structures that are too bright, like visible Dyson spheres, and never responding to the weak radio signals of younger civilizations. They hide their energy output, mask their planet's atmospheric signatures, and live in a state of perpetual vigilant silence, aware that any broadcast is the equivalent of screaming one's location to every potential predator in the galaxy. The dark forest theory turns the Fermi Paradox on its head. The silence is not proof of absence, it is proof of successful concealment. The absence of signals is the most terrifying signal of all. It is the sound of survivors who know the rules of the game. Our own existence as a technological species is inherently dangerous because we have been loudly broadcasting our presence into space for over a century via radio and television signals. This makes us a bright, naive target in a universe where the only safe action is utter, profound silence. The fear implicit in this hypothesis is that the Great Filter is an external, active force. Not a physical law of nature, but the conscious, hostile action of an older, dominant civilization who sees the rise of competitors as an existential threat to their long-term survival. The lack of an alien response to our signals means one of two things. Either they are too far away to have received the signal yet, or they have received it, and their response is already traveling toward us, silent and deadly, and we will never know it is coming until it is too late. The final verdict: is humanity the ultimate anomaly? We have explored the most profound and terrifying explanations for the Fermi Paradox. The possibility that we are a miraculous statistical anomaly, the filters behind us, that we are destined for self-annihilation, the filters ahead, that advanced life transcends physical space, Transcension, or that the galaxy is too hostile to speak, the dark forest. Each theory offers a unique, unsettling verdict on humanity's place in the cosmos. Now we must reach the final existential conclusion. The various filter theories are not mutually exclusive. They can combine to form a multi-stage filter that acts as an almost insurmountable gauntlet for life. It is possible that the emergence of complex life and plate tectonics, filters behind, were highly unlikely, severely limiting the number of candidates. Of the few that do emerge, perhaps 99% self-destruct through AI or climate collapse, filters ahead. Of the tiny fraction that survives, most may then choose to transcend, leaving the visible universe. Finally, the few that remain visible must remain utterly silent to survive the hostile environment dictated by the dark forest reality. The silence in this scenario is the product of a cosmic conspiracy of unlikelihoods and universal caution. This complexity leads to the most unsettling philosophical realization. The great filter is not a single point, but a constant existential pressure. It demands continuous vigilance, wisdom, and luck to survive both external threats and internal failures. If we assume the most optimistic scenario, that the filter is behind us, we are still faced with the immense burden of being the first. This scenario places the entire future of galactic consciousness on our shoulders. We would be responsible for populating and shaping a vast empty universe, meaning our extinction would be a tragedy of cosmic proportions, silencing the only voice that emerged from the void. The pressure is not to survive a catastrophe, but to avoid a mistake that dooms the future of all potential life. If we assume the most pessimistic scenario, that the filter is ahead of us, then our current technological obsession with artificial intelligence, self-modification, and resource expansion is not a sign of progress, but the sound of the final countdown. Every new technological breakthrough, every step towards a Kardashev Type 1 civilization, merely brings us closer to the universal guillotine. Our immediate priority is not to send more signals into space or build bigger rockets, but to develop the existential wisdom, the ethical, moral, and political framework to safely manage the power we already possess. If the filter is AI, we must solve the hard problem of consciousness and the AI alignment problem before we grant a machine the power to extinguish us. Ultimately, the Fermi Paradox forces us to turn our focus away from the distant stars and inward, toward our own actions. We don't know the answer to the greatest cosmic mystery, but the answer is inextricably linked to our own survival. The silence of the universe is a mirror reflecting our own fragility and our own capacity for both miraculous creation and catastrophic self-destruction. The true lesson of the Great Filter is that if we wish to survive and eventually join a galactic community, whether they are hidden in the shadows or transcended into digital utopias, we must first prove to the universe and to ourselves that we are worthy of the title of a long-term civilization. The race is not against aliens, the race is against the clock, and the stakes are existence itself. The final question remains: when will the universe respond to our presence, and will that response be a greeting or an execution?